There's money, and then there's old money, the kind that doesn't sit in bank accounts but moves through hidden tunnels, offshore accounts, priceless art, and businesses with names you've never heard of. The world loves to rank billionaires, estimating their net worths based on stock holdings and public investments. But what if the real wealth, the kind that stretches for generations, is hidden so well that even governments struggle to trace it? Some of the richest Jewish families in history have mastered the game of financial secrecy, ensuring that their fortunes not only remain intact, but keep growing in ways few will ever understand. The Sassoon family. Wealth is power, but the real power is keeping wealth away from prying eyes. The Sassoon family understood this better than anyone. Their fortune started in the 1800s with David Sassoon, a Jewish merchant who fled Baghdad for Bombay, now Mumbai. He didn't just set up shop, he built an empire. Starting with textiles, he soon expanded into a far more profitable trade: opium. The drug made him one of the wealthiest men of his time, opening doors to business in India, China, and London. But with great fortune comes risk, and the Sassoons knew that governments, economic downturns, and even family disputes could put everything at stake. To stay ahead, they shielded their wealth behind layers of financial protection. Family trusts ensured their riches passed down through generations without legal interference or excessive taxation. They invested in high-value real estate, acquiring properties across London and Hong Kong, not just for status but as financial shields that would appreciate in value. They diversified aggressively, pouring money into banking, finance, and international markets, ensuring that no single collapse could destroy their empire. By the time people realized just how powerful they had become, the money was already locked away, hidden behind legal structures that made them nearly untouchable. Mark Zuckerberg. To the world, Mark Zuckerberg is the awkward tech genius who created Facebook and became one of the richest men alive. But behind the friendly, hoodie-wearing CEO is a financial mastermind who moves his fortune through hidden channels. His wealth isn't just in tech, it's protected by shell companies, strategic investments, and legal loopholes that make it almost impossible to track. Zuckerberg uses LCs to buy real estate, meaning the world never sees his name attached to his properties in Hawaii or California. He controls billions through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, a nonprofit that isn't a foundation but an LLC, giving him the power to donate money while still making investments that generate returns. His family office, a private firm managing his wealth, silently backs tech startups, stocks, and emerging industries. On the surface, it looks like philanthropy, but in reality, it's the ultimate play in wealth preservation. By promising to give away 99% of his Meta shares, he reduces his taxable assets while retaining full control over how and where his money flows. Michael Dell. Michael Dell isn't just the guy who built a computer empire, he's the guy who figured out how to quietly hold on to his fortune without anyone noticing. Instead of hoarding billions in cash, he moves his money through a private investment firm, MSD Capital, which operates in the shadows. Through it, he invests in real estate, healthcare, and finance, keeping his wealth diversified and invisible to public records. His real estate portfolio alone is worth hundreds of millions, with luxury properties hidden behind layers of corporate ownership. One of his most famous purchases is a $100 million penthouse in New York, a deal structured so discreetly that the public only discovered it long after the fact. Like other billionaires, he relies on a family office to handle his investments, ensuring that his wealth remains shielded while continuously growing. While the world watches Dell Technologies, the real money is being made behind closed doors, far from public scrutiny. Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg is more than just a media mogul. He's a financial wizard who turned information into a billion-dollar business. But the real genius isn't just how he made his money, it's how he keeps it. Worth over $96 billion, Bloomberg has mastered the art of tax avoidance, using offshore tax havens and charitable loopholes to ensure he never pays more than he has to. He routes his money through countries with low or no taxes, keeping his earnings legally protected from government intervention. Bloomberg Philanthropies, his charitable foundation, allows him to move billions under the guise of donations while securing tax benefits that work in his favor. Beyond that, his private banking networks give him access to investment tools unavailable to the average person, allowing his fortune to grow at an exponential rate. Bloomberg sells financial data for a living, so it's no surprise he understands better than anyone how to hide it. Larry Ellison. How do you keep $150 billion safe? If you're Larry Ellison, you buy a Hawaiian island for $300 million. But while that purchase grabs headlines, it's just a tiny piece of his real financial strategy. Ellison knows that true wealth isn't just about owning things, it's about controlling them. And he does that better than almost anyone. His real financial empire is built through Ellison Ventures, a private firm that silently funnels billions into AI, biotech, and aviation. Unlike public investments that come with scrutiny, these are private equity deals, meaning he makes money behind closed doors, without the public ever knowing the details. His investment in Tesla was one of his most brilliant moves, but even now, no one knows exactly how much he holds because his legal protections keep those details hidden. His fortune is spread across offshore accounts, tax havens, and secretive trusts, ensuring that no government can take more than he allows. The structure is designed so that, on paper, he owns very little, but in reality, he controls everything. That's why no matter how much his wealth grows, it remains practically untouchable. The Rothschild family. No discussion of hidden wealth is complete without the Rothschilds, a family that has been pulling financial strings for over 2 centuries. Their true net worth is impossible to calculate, but estimates suggest it could be well over $500 billion, concealed through banking networks, real estate holdings, and gold reserves. Unlike today's billionaires who rely on tech or Wall Street, the Rothschilds built a system where they don't just own businesses, they own industries. Their influence started in the late 1700s when Mayer Amschel Rothschild expanded his banking empire across London, Paris, Frankfurt, and Vienna. Over time, they financed wars, controlled national debts, and dictated economic policies, making them more powerful than most governments. But the real genius wasn't just making money, it was hiding it. The family mastered offshore banking, complex trusts, and private wealth management systems that allowed them to pass fortunes down through generations without taxation or legal battles. Even today, their wealth isn't held in publicly traded companies but discrete private firms and diversified assets. They wrote the playbook on financial secrecy, and to this day, no one knows just how deep their fortune goes. Every super-rich family on this list follows the same golden rules. Keep wealth private, use legal loopholes, and diversify across industries. They don't keep their money in one place, and they certainly don't keep it in their own names. Trusts, shell companies, offshore accounts. These are the tools of generational wealth. The billionaires you hear about? They're only the surface. The real power belongs to the financial ghosts, the families who have spent centuries perfecting the art of secrecy. And that's why the rich don't just stay rich, they stay untouchable. If you found this eye-opening, like, comment, share, and subscribe. The deeper you look, the more you realize wealth isn't just earned. It's protected.